people now, there's a tendency to throw them out of the house when they're a certain age.
Yeah.
But normally, the apple, when it's ripe, drops from the tree.
Yes.
So if you
Pluck this.
pluck it green, then it will not be.
No.
So this is also happening. So the push the young people out
Yes.
before they are really feeling stable enough.
Yes.
They can go into the.
Yes.
This is a tremendous tension.
A tremendous danger. That is what is.
There's a lot of problems. We were discussing.
Yes, there are a lot of problems. In my experience during the last 30 years, in my experience in Europe especially, because I have not gone to United States till now, and I don't think I will go also. But in my experience in Europe also, all the disturbances in many families because of no proper family structure. That is the reason. So there is a gap of generation, a gap between one generation to the other generation. Then there is no possibility of the younger generation to learn something from the older generation, and the older generation also are too lazy, too indulgent, that they have no time to teach the younger generation. That is the gap. And this makes the effect of the miasm more and more increasing. So the question of health or disease is not just on the physical level now. It's on the higher levels. That is the problem. Because it reflects in the behavior of the person. That brings all the social problems. The funny thing is that the tubercular miasm, the person who is affected by this miasm, his intelligence is high, highly intelligent, but misuse of this intelligence. This misuse is one of the key of this miasm.
This is a kind of competition.
Yeah. And today, all the criminal activity, what you find around the world in many countries, the criminal thinking, criminal activity is the result of the miasm, tubercular miasm and psychotic miasm. All the criminal activity, criminal thinking, criminal action, and the greed, very greedy, all this is because of this. It is dominating now in the whole of human race.
So the whole society is disoriented
Yes.
from the true values.
Yes.
This comes through the capitalistic system.
Yes.
Because the profit is the king.
Yes.
And not the welfare of the human.
And misuse of power.
Misuse of power.
Misuse of power and also all selfish. Everything is selfish.
No sharing.
Dissatisfaction, that is another keynote of tubercular miasm. Dissatisfaction, not satisfied with any condition. Huh? Suppose he says, I have no house. You provide a house. Then are you satisfied? No, I want to have a bigger house because my neighbor is having a bigger house. So you have provided bigger house. Are you satisfied? No, it will be good if I have a house like a palace. So this dissatisfaction. This is what you find from the very childhood, from very younger age. You see? We see in younger generation how they are doing now. He wants to have a bike because his classmate is having a bike. So he wants to have such a bike which he can ride at high speed because that is there for other person. Whether it is necessity or not, no. So the parents have to oblige. And this fellow makes accidents. And there are many deaths also of the young people. That is what is happening. Thus, this is all this disorder on that level. Similarly, as the race develops right emotional control, we shall see the gradual disappearance of the phenomenon of cancer. So when can we make the cancer disappear? Only when there is emotional control. That is what he says.
And now we get also this mental control.
Yes. A proper control and a proper use of emotional and mental faculties, if that is not restored, you cannot have cure of these diseases. Because the normal medical science claims that we have so many new methods at cancer to control, but it is not under control. More and more increasing. You see, the oncology department is increasing more and more in all the hospitals, in all the countries. Even newly born child also is getting cancer on the physical plane. This itself is a proof how much is intensified. Newly born child is diabetic. We have the cases. Recently we got a case of a child brought to us, 3 months or 4 months age, on high dose of insulin because the blood sugar is very high. The blood sugar is very high and they are giving high insulin. We said, what is this? We are giving this insulin for such. But they said, we have to control the sugar in the blood. What is this control? What do you call control? Is only making the level of sugar disappear from the blood. Do you call this a control? If you make something disappear only in the investigation, but every day you have to give. This child is given insulin, high dose of insulin 3 times a day. You can imagine how will be the life of the child. Why should this child survive and how could it continue the life? What is this due to? Due to the intense degree of miasms in the parents.
In the pharmaceutical, there's profit-oriented business.
Yeah.
And they are happy that they can sell more.
More and more insulin can be sold. So therefore, so that is what he says. The race, similarly as the race develops right emotional control. So right control of emotion and mental condition, then you can have possibility of disappearance of these diseases. The said right emotional control, inhibition and the suppression of the desire impulses by the force of the will is not right control. By suppression you cannot control it. He is explaining now about what is the control. Suppression is not control. So how to deal with this? Either the mental disturbances or the emotional disturbances If you try to suppress them, the problem will increase. So you must know how to control without suppressing, without suppression. So that is what is being explained now. Vasudeva.